don't take their advice, you're an idiot. So tell BJ I said that. I wrote down about, I don't know, 14 things here, and I'm not going to get into all of that. Just wanted to say, echo what David has said. It's a lot to learn. I'm on House budget. It's a real hoot because everybody in the state comes in, they do a little dog and pony show, and they tell you why they need all this money. So I'm the kind of guy I like to ask lots of questions. So sometimes people come in front of them, you've heard things, so you ask them questions. And I've got to rough up DNR several times. It's fun being on that side of the equation. Had them in my office a couple times. That's fun. So what I do is I collect horror stories, and they've assured me that they're working and playing well with others. So if they're not, after they told me that, within 24 hours I talked to somebody they hadn't treated well. So if you know about it, let me know. It's my job. I like it. It's fun. You call them up and say, hey, didn't we agree? And at that point, it's always interesting to see what the answer is. I also want to say it's nice to get out of Jefferson City back out into God's country. And I have the pleasure this semester of teaching at Palmyra High School. And on behalf of those young people, I hope you all vote yes on this bond issue. But I also want to mention we've had students from the area down, several North Shelbyville, Zach Rosencrantz here from Palmyra High School is one of the 4-H Leadership Academy recipients for the entire state. They got to spend several days in Jefferson City. I think I bored him to tears. But they go to D.C. after they're done with us, so they get to go to the big house. So we're the little folks, and then they graduate on. A couple things that were on the radar screen. Wanted to mention that I filed something today about broadband. If it is me, you know it's going to broadband. Sooner or later I'll talk about it because I'm obsessed with it. And it's something we should all be obsessed about, so I hope it's contagious. Y'all catch it. But we have an opportunity here. Federal government, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Senator Blunt and everybody else. We're kind enough to push down $255 million Connect America Fund second round. Y'all may remember the first round is $400 million, and we fanned on it. AT&T got the money, decided there wasn't any money in rural broadband, so they closed up shop, they went home. That money went back to the feds. We didn't get it. Second time around, we got $145 million less than the first time. And to me, that's sort of backwards thinking. So what I've done is went ahead and filed a bill, and I checked it with a couple people. Long story short, I also talked to Farm Bureau before I did it. But this is something I put it out there. If it makes it through the books, great. If the SEC laughs at it, that's okay too. But we want to put something between them and the money, which is basically the state of Missouri. So filed a piece of legislation that basically would give them pause, I don't know, for 2 weeks, a month, who knows. But need to do something to make sure we don't have that type of a debacle again. So it's sort of plan B, forewarned is forearmed. If anybody has any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer them. I also have a couple other things out there. I do a weekly e-newsletter. I do a not so fun fact of the week, which I get from House Budget, which is always displeasing to have to select them, but it's also informative to you to know what's going on out there. So a few of them I just wanted to share. Our Department of Administration, which administers the entire state, does not have a single source document to tell you all the property we own. It doesn't exist. How do I know? I asked. They tap danced around a little bit. Finally got into that yes, no. Is it yes or is it no? No. Folks say they don't have any money. They have money. They just don't spend the money we appropriate. It sits. They're called fund balances. Some of them have tens of millions of dollars sitting there they don't use. So when folks are running in front of us crying poverty, we just look inside the numbers and we keep on looking. And there are various levels of looking. Most of us don't go as far into the budget as we probably should. And that's going to be my mission in life, is to look farther and farther inside the numbers. This year we're basically freshmen, so we get to plead ignorance. Next year we don't have that excuse. We will have been there for a year, starting our second year, so plan to take a deep dive in the numbers all summer long, all fall. And so when we come back in January, we'll be ready for more detailed questions. Where'd the money go? So I want to leave you with one little incident we had on budget. We have one state rep chased $50,000 around the state for a year. And they never could find, we appropriated last year, they didn't spend it. We could prove that, but we couldn't prove where it went. And here's the sad part, neither could they. That was the Department of Social Services. So, as a result, we thought maybe it will help you focus your mind on where the money goes if we take away 2 of your full-time employees. So we did. We docked them $76,000 to people. I wish it had been more. So, when we talk about accountability partners, that's our job. So if you see it, if you hear it, if you know it's a problem, please let me know. It's what I'm there for. It's an honor and a privilege to serve you. Thank you again. If you have any questions, please let me know. But please also sign up for that e-newsletter. A lot of stuff going on down there. Some of it's actually kind of interesting. So with that, I'll shut up. Questions? Cool. Thank you.